Welcome to the NAMB Podcast, where we bring you the voices that drive the mortgage industry. Join dynamic hosts Ginger Bell and Matt Shields as they dive into bold conversations with top experts, industry leaders, and change makers from across the country. From insider insights to game-changing trends, this is your front row seat to what's happening right now in the world of home finance.
Well, hi there. Welcome to another episode of the NAMB Podcast. My name is Ginger Bell, and I have the pleasure of having a conversation today with somebody who I know you're going to absolutely love meeting, and that is Emenyo Segbefia. Let me tell you what I say. Emenyo Segbefia. Is that right?
Emenyo Segbefia.
Segbefia. See, it's like one of those things. Emenyo Segbefia. Emenyo is the Director of Business Development for the Chenoa Funds and also a partner. You're our NAMB Education Partner. And so thank you for that. And welcome, Emenyo. We're so excited to have you on the podcast today.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be here and to share some insights on down payment assistance.
Absolutely. And so let's just get started really with the basics. Obviously, down payment assistance is so important right now. And the Chenoa Fund has been around for a very long time. And so I want to begin with really for our listeners who may be new to the program, what is the Chenoa Fund and what problem was it created to solve?
Yes, Chenoa Fund is powered by CBC Mortgage Agency and was created about 13 years ago, going on 14.
Wow.
And this Chenoa Fund was created to solve the gap of homeownership, the affordability gap. In that sense, there's a lot of people, good Americans, that can make the monthly payments, currently making it right now through renting. But because they're making those monthly payments, they can't save for a home. Doesn't mean that they're not credit worthy, and doesn't mean they can't have sustainable home ownerships. So in that sense, Chenoa Fund was created to help that segment of the market get into the home ownership market. And it's been growing from there since 13 years, and we helped our 50,000 member
Wow.
homeowner and 2 years ago, excuse me.
So 50,000. And so, you talk about having that down payment.
Yes.
And we know, we're living in a world right now where home prices are so high. Rates have obviously increased, although not the highest that we've ever seen. And I can tell you, the first house that we bought many moons ago was on an arm. And it honestly was 13%.
Wow.
And we put 10% down, had, been fortunate. Now, we'll tell you, it was, the house, the price was $68,000. So it was a lot less than what it is today, right?
Yes.
But we were just happy to get into a home. And I think that's a lot of kind of that conversation that's important right now is the power of homeownership. We're obviously this podcast we're publishing in the middle of June, which is Homeownership Month, and it's raising that awareness. And I think that's why, we're so excited at NAMB to have you as an education partner. We're so excited to be able to get the education out there because, it begins obviously with educating loan originators, but then to help them to educate their borrowers, potential borrowers, of how to get in a home. And I know that's really a lot of your role as business development director. So, talking about some of that, just tell me about your role and some of the things that you do as far as helping loan officers to be able to navigate the opportunities with the funds that you have available.
Yes. So one of my biggest thing and the passion that I have for my job is going out there and meeting different people from all walks of life, specifically loan officers, anybody from loan officers to C-suite people. And the one thing that is trending in between everyone is affordability. And that's where a huge pain point is. And I think I forgot the Urban Institute or one of these studies put out a study saying post-COVID, the average cost for a home increased by $50,000.
Wow.
the average cost, excuse me, the average income did not increase by
Right.
$50,000.
Yeah.
So that alone there creates a gap. So what we're doing is we're trying to educate the loan officers to understand what it is down payment is. Don't be afraid of it. Yes, it has this bad rap, or there is different things, nuances depending on which program that you're working with that you have to navigate. But with everything that we do, we have to navigate and help the buyer make the best choice. And that's why we're here, is to say this is another tool that you can have that is just as easy as processing a regular FHA or conventional loan. It's just as easy as that. The only difference is you're adding down payment assistance to it.
Right.
So the best part I will say of my job is talking to loan officers, listening to them and saying, okay, based on what I've compiled, this is what we can offer you as a one size fit all, but at least offer a solution in that way.
I love it. So you talked about some of the perceptions of down payment, and I'd love to get into that. What are some of the misconceptions that loan officers may have about down payment assistance programs?
Yes. So it's important to differentiate which down payment assistance you're working with.
Right?
You have your state and local down payment assistance, and then you have your national down payment assistance. The national down payment assistance, like us, where you can use our product anywhere except for New York, gives you the flexibility and the ease that you need as a loan officer. What do I mean by that? Because we're nationwide, our program guidelines is one. You only have one guideline to worry about. So let's say you're originating in Portland, but you have a referral in California. The nice thing is you don't have to go learn Calhafa. You can use the Chenoa Fund program. Or if you're, you have a buyer that's moving to Georgia. You don't have to learn the Georgia program. You can use a Chenoa Fund product. So right there and there, it makes it easy for your underwriters and processors because they know you're doing the Chenoa Fund product. They know what works in Portland works in a different state. And then you're underwriting and processing it in-house. That is a huge, huge, huge benefit for loan officers and processors, especially brokers, where you're relying on the underwriting and processing speed of your TPO partners. This is something that helps them because you're keeping all of that in-house and they don't have to send it to us for second underwriting approval.
Right. So walk me through that process. And I think that's important to understand. So someone, our listeners are, hearing this and it's like, okay, first of all, I want more information. So how do I get started? Especially if our brokers working with the TPO partner, how do they do that? And what does that look like? But let's start with, where do they get started?
So where they get started is reaching out to a TPO partner that is Chenoa Fund approved.
Okay.
And we have a select few that are offering our product on their TPO channel for you to be able to access the Chenoa Fund product. So as the broker, you'll go to your account executive, ask them if they have the Chenoa Fund product available. If they do not, then they can always reach out to us on our website at chenoafund.org, and we have account executives as well that will be able to help your TPO partner get approved to offer this product.
Okay.
Once your TPO partner is approved, they will be trained. We offer training to everybody in their organization. And when I say everybody, everybody. If we
Nice.
could train the receptionist too, we will train her too as well, or him. But yes, so we offer training to different segments, and it's specialized to their segments of business that they handle, so that way it increases efficiencies, which then is passed along to the broker, so that when you go and you take your client, you know that you can rely on that broker or that TPO channel as you have been already.
Right. So finding out who is already approved for TPO.
Yes.
And if you have someone that isn't approved, obviously getting them approved is critical, right?
Yes.
And then once that is done, then getting the training for your team to understand, what they need to do in those processes. So that's fabulous. And I know that you're growing as far as your TPO partners,
Yes.
because obviously the need for this is so big. So let's talk about.
And that is thanks to NAMB and the partnership with NAMB is why that is growing.
Well, good. Well, we love hearing that.
Thank you.
And that's part of the power of NAM too, is being able to bring these resources and everyone together, because obviously NAM is the National Association of Mortgage Brokers, but a lot of it is led through our wholesalers, through our industry partners. And so it's really, creating that whole team to be able to serve the consumer. So let's talk about the consumer. What does a borrower look like that would be someone that you would say, hey, this is perfect to talk about, the possibility of doing a Chenoa Fund with this particular borrower?
So looking for the perfect buyer or the perfect borrower for Chenoa Fund comes down to the broker's ability to be flexible. And that's what makes a broker special, is because they have the ability to shop between a few different TPO partners.
Right.
It's the same way they have the option of shopping between different programs that is available. I would like to say there's one down payment assistance product there that fits everything that they need, but there isn't. Chenoa Fund comes the closest to that for your buyer based on our guidelines. And I will say this for you. First thing is the borrower has to have a 600 minimum FICO score.
Okay.
There's no income limit. When I say there's no income limit, that is true. And then the other thing too is that the borrower does not have to show need for the product. So if they have good savings and they have a 401k and they don't want to reach into that, they can use the Chenoa Fund down payment assistance product. And the other big thing is our debt to income ratio is per a US approval.
Okay.
Anybody below a 640 FICO score has to take home buyer education.
Okay.
But even with that home buyer education, we try to make it as easy as possible for your buyer. Anybody with a 600 to 620 FICO score has to use our HUD approved course. Anybody with a 620 to 640 FICO score can use any HUD approved course, including ours, which is free. And it only lasts for an hour and a half. And it's like a webinar that we're doing right now. It doesn't get any easier than that.
Right. I love that. So, you think about some of the mistakes that can happen when you're structuring loans.
Yes.
What are some of the common mistakes loan officers make when they're structuring loans with down payment assistance?
Yes. Well, one of the common things is not fully understanding the guidelines or understanding the options that are out there for you. And credit to them, state and federal agencies have done really, really good jobs as marketing the programs, and loan officers are familiar with them based on longevity. But typically, sometimes they may fall out because of DTI restrictions. Sometimes they may fall out because of income restrictions. So there's different reasons why your buyer may fall out of there, or maybe it becomes credit. So with those 3 points right there, you can save an additional 1 to 2 person and helping them get into that home and save that deal. Once you save that deal, that could be the difference of you making your goals that month or exceeding your goals and setting you going to new heights. And that's where the key is the loan officer has to keep in mind and say, hey, if my borrower doesn't fit into X program, potentially Chenoa Fund can be the backup. How do we make that work? And that's presenting your options to the buyer and saying, hey, this may not work for you, but we have this here available to you. Let's structure this and see how we can move forward.
I love it. So again, June homeownership month. So our focus is on being able to increase homeownership.
Yes.
All of that begins with education. One of the great advantages of really tapping into a program like the Chenoa Fund is to be able to help those underserved and minority communities.
Yes.
And so how is that a focus for some of the things that you're doing, and especially in the outreach and education piece?
Yes. So 55% of the people that we've helped, of the 50,000 and counting, is 55% of them are minorities in the Black,
Wow.
Latino, Hispanic, Asian communities.
Right.
So that has been a huge focus for us because, quite frankly, that is some of the people that do need the help and do need to get into home ownership. And one of the biggest things that we pride ourselves on is education. The biggest thing is the pre-education and the post-education. One thing that we do as well, free to the buyer is post-closing, they get free post-closing home buyer education and quotation or assistance. They have a concierge service that we provide to them where they can reach out to them at any time, as many times as they want, or we will proactively have an outreach to them once a quarter for 18 months post-purchase. It's not when a buyer buys the home, the first 12 months is critical of whether that person is going to be successful. We've
Right.
added additional 6 months to make sure that they're ultra successful to what they've purchased. Because buying a home is a huge, 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 huge deal.
Yeah. Well, and having that opportunity to have that education on the front, if they're getting obviously that education on the front end. And I'm assuming, even though the credit scores, you have the 600 to 640, if they wanted to go through the education and because it's a free resource, that's something that the broker could say, hey, by the way, we also have this available. Is that correct?
Yes,
Gotcha.
but it is a HUD approved course and it is a fast and easy way for you to get home buyer education because it is live and you are talking to an expert that goes over a budget with you. They go over and it's specific to the home that you're purchasing. And then they go over the benefits and the negatives of you purchasing this home so that you can understand the full concept of what you're getting into.
Wow. That's cool. So I was like putting on my marketing hat and saying, okay, for our brokers out there, and especially when you're looking at the challenges we're having in the market,
Yes.
obviously home prices going up. You shared, home prices increased by 50,000. Obviously, income has not increased. And now we're sitting where, prices are, I mean, it's just like everything here. And so for people that are like, gosh, am I ever going to be able to buy a home? If a broker wanted to put together a marketing plan targeting those first-time home buyers, which I read something the other day that the average first-time home buyer is now at the age of 40, that it's gone up so much where it used to be in the 20s. So when you look at that, it's like, what can a broker do on an outreach to say there are programs available to help you with the down payments so that you don't have to, you can still get into a home and maybe you don't have the money saved. So what are some of the things that they should be doing in order to, market themselves?
Yes. One of my good friends, Mose Gatling, she says this all the time. You have to meet people where they are.
Yeah.
Um, And I feel like just about a year ago, I heard the average age of the first-time home buyer was 35, and now it's up to 40. So the only thing that's happening is that it's increasing, and it's because we're not meeting people where they need to be.
Yeah.
Everybody's in a different stage of life, and you have to understand who you're targeting. The first-time home buyer, some of them may need down payment assistance, and some of them may not.
Mhm.
So you have to understand, okay, if I'm targeting or going after the people that do need down payment assistance, I need to understand and talk to them about leveraging cash and why the purchase of home ownership is important now than waiting 2 to 3 years to do it. And some people just don't know. I didn't know. I got into the business and I was in the business for 3 years before I realized, oh, I can actually do this myself. It's just
Wow.
somebody
Seriously.
encouraging
Yeah.
you to be able
Yeah.
to do it. So I would say going to your community and talking to your community and saying, what do you guys need? There are people graduating colleges every year. They're going into the workforce. The the last thing that they're thinking about is home ownership because of their student loans that they have.
Right.
This is another tool. There's different ways to approach it. And that's why we have a marketing team that helps you build a landing page. And then you can tap into the Chenoa Fund ecosystem to be able to attract those home buyers.
Wow. Okay, so that's huge. So you have a marketing team that's going to it's to help someone not only understand the program, educate, but create a landing page that they can use to be
Yes.
able to market themselves. Tell me about that. That is amazing.
Yes. So the landing page, our marketing team will help you create a marketing landing page. This landing page will have your branding on it, alongside
Wow.
Chenoa Fund to help you with that credibility and say, hey, this loan officer or this broker is now an expert in down payment assistance. Now, when you're getting leads out of this landing page, which is free, where there's not a lot of people out there doing free landing pages
No
for you.
kidding.
You've basically gained another way to market and bring new buyers and new people coming into your ecosystem and helping them with the options that you have available.
That is huge.
Yes.
And guys, I mean, seriously, take advantage of this. Don't say, "Oh, I heard on this podcast that, we can do this." Go to the chenoafund.org site. And if you can't find it there, you can go to NAMB. And obviously, you're listed as one of our industry partners, and get connected with them. And if you have a TPO partner who is not approved for the Chenoa Fund, then make sure and get them improved. Because one of the biggest things, and this is why I so love what we're doing here, and I love everything that you're doing, is it's all through outreach and education. You talked about community, right? And so that's really within our community expanding out to your community. So it's one of those things. It's like, guys, seriously, take advantage of this. And I know we have a lot more great things that we're doing with you all as far as obviously the education partner. So we're going to be sharing a lot more information. Um, so I'm going to end on kind of a little bit different question, because I know at the recording of this podcast, you're actually in Dallas, Texas right now, and we were
Yeah.
talking in the green room a little bit about food, and you have the opportunity of traveling a lot. So if you think about, because you are a foodie, what's the best experience or restaurant that you have been to that you'd say, man, that was absolutely amazing?
You're gonna put me on the spot.
So many different places, right? And and while you're thinking about that, I'm going to tell you, I was in
Okay.
Stockholm, Sweden, for Thanksgiving last year. My son was working there, and so it's Thanksgiving, but of course they don't celebrate Thanksgiving in Stockholm, right?
Yes.
So we went to a tiny little restaurant
Hmm.
that had Swedish food, and
Yes.
very small, limited menu. And it was so small. They only had a few tables, and we honestly sat at the bar. But we had this for Thanksgiving. You're thinking the usual turkey and all this other kind of stuff, right? We had Swedish meatballs. That was the restaurant's owner's great grandmother's recipe. I mean, just all those things. And it was like, and because we're sitting at the bar, the guy kept, "Oh, you have to try this Swedish drink and this Swedish drink." And
Oh,
it was
wow.
the experience that was so amazing. And I think that's the thing, for me. So have you thought of something? Have I given you enough time?
Yes, you have.
Okay, good.
So it's to me, it's Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
There was this Korean barbecue spot, and it was across the street from, I think we were staying at the JW Marriott. It was
Right.
just across the street in downtown Charlotte. And it was my first time going to Charlotte, and I didn't think anything of it because I've never been. So I get there, and we had lunch at this Korean barbecue place. Needless to say, we went back 3 times and one
Oh my gosh.
in a 2-day trip. I can't remember the name right now because I don't have my little list
Yeah,
of places, but I will send it to you. We went there 3 times in a row, and we had to stop and try something else
yeah,
instead of going back for a fourth time. So
yeah.
we
I
didn't want
love it.
accounting to think that somebody was actually stealing their card and going to steal our company card and going to this place over and over again. So yeah.
Fantastic. So guys, if you're listening, yeah, I'm gonna get the name of the restaurant, and we'll make sure and put it in the comments. So if you guys are in around Charlotte, that's someplace you can go to be able to do that. Um, so thank you so much for being on here with me today. And thank you, obviously, to your entire team at Chenoa Fund, for bringing everything that you do to increase home ownership. We're delighted to have you as an industry partner. For those who are listening who want to get started, where should they go?
Yes, they should go to chenoafund.org, and there's the account executives are all on there, but Bob Sweeney
Yes,
has a wealth of knowledge. He's the
amazing.
whole reason why this has come together. I would recommend you reaching out to Bob to help you get started. And one thing I didn't touch on is once we start the application process and all the documents are submitted, it's only a 2-week or less turnaround time to help you and your TPO partner get approved if they're not already approved.
Perfect.
And I wanted to also say thank you and thank you to your team for even bringing us into your ecosystem. I just really recently read a book about marketing and networking, and LinkedIn does this the best. Everybody's only a 3-degree separation.
Yeah.
So thank you, because that is important, bringing us into your ecosystem too as well.
Well, we're delighted to have you, and we look forward to everything that we're building together. And that's the focus, is to increase home ownership. So listen, so great to have you on. We will have you back again, and we'll make sure and get the name of that restaurant in Charlotte, North Carolina, because it's always, I'm a foodie too. So it's like, if I can find a good food place, that's important. And so thank you so much. And for those of our listeners, thank you for tuning into the NAMB podcast. Make sure and like, subscribe, follow, and share. This is definitely a great episode for you to share with your community. So thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful day.
Thanks for tuning in to the NAMB Podcast, brought to you by the National Association of Mortgage Brokers. For more episodes, resources, and guest interviews, visit nambpodcast.com. Don't forget to follow, share, and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you soon.